Hi, my name is Susan Schuler, and I'm here to help you reduce your recycling confusion. I'm with the Marathon County Solid Waste Department and also with Recycling Connections. We work with the county to help with the education and outreach on how to recycle right, how to learn how to compost, and other waste reduction opportunities for you. So here today, we are going to be talking about recycling in Central Wisconsin, helping us become a better recycler by reducing confusion, hopefully for you. I hope you walk away with a lot of tips to become a better recycler. First off, we're going to just introduce, if you're not aware of the Central Wisconsin Recycling Collective, this is a collective that looks at our waste shed. So all of our materials in Central Wisconsin. This is a partnership program between Portage County and Marathon County and Recycling Connections on helping to educate and do outreach on recycling correctly in Central Wisconsin. This network uses social media networks in order to get information out. So we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We also have a small website that links you to one of these optimum social media networks, depending on where you get your social media connections, which sites you follow the most. We also have an email where you can ask direct questions to us to get your questions answered. We also had an info line. So those that would like to make a phone call, pick up the phone, give us a call, and we'll help address your questions on recycling in Central Wisconsin. So here's just a sample of what the tips you get on our social media sites, Facebook and Instagram. These come 1 to 2 tips a week as a static image that's trying to show you the right way to recycle or items that are not accepted. And we try to give a little more information of why an item might not be accepted. So here you have a Kleenex box. It's accepted for recycling. We just ask that you please break it down so it's nice and flat and goes through our machines very well for sorting accurately. And then here's another item, not to bin. It's not to bin because it's made up of 4 different material types. That's just too difficult for the material recovery facility to actually separate the items and get it into each separate streams. It's not going to be recycled. So we ask that those people just put that in the trash can. We also have a weekly video tip. So maybe some of you have seen Amanda Heffley. She comes to us and has brought many great tips for recycling right. So far, our YouTube channel includes 47 tips on Amanda telling us different tips to do. We post those once a week.
Hi, Amanda here with Portage County Solid Waste with more tips and tricks to make you a better recycler.
They're typically
peanut butter and other nut butter containers. How clean do these items need to be before they can go in your curbside bin? I'm here to tell you they don't need to be spotless. You don't need to put them in the dishwasher. You don't need to put a washcloth in there and get it all sudsy, and it doesn't need to be see-through. You can keep a little bit of residual peanut butter or other nut butters inside of the container. These are my own personal containers. I can tell you they're not perfectly clean, but what I did do is I took a spatula and I went in there and I got out as much of the peanut butter as I possibly could. Ate it, it was fabulous. And now I recapped it and it can go in my recycling bin just like this, and it'll still get recycled. When you have too much residual or you can't see any of the clear plastic through the peanut butter container, that's when you know you can't put it in your recycling bin and it does need to go in the trash. So thank you for being a better peanut butter and nut butter recycler. Take care.
So those are some tips you get. Again, those are posted about once a week. We put a video tip that's a minute or less. The next thing I just want to talk about is help you understand how your materials go from the curbside and then where is it going from there. So we have our trash bin that is at the curbside. That's our trash that's typically going directly to a landfill. It might go through a transfer station first and then to a landfill. What a transfer station pretty much is all the items from your trash collecting truck that comes to your household is taken to a location. All the trash is dumped on a floor and reloaded into a much larger container that is going to go into a semi-load. This keeps the number of trucks on the road to a minimum that's going out to the landfill itself. So it's just an efficiency thing. Also at the transfer station, our transfer station is down at the Plover location where there is the material recovery facility. And there are many markets of which your products are going to. A lot of people think that recycling, you're not sure when you put it in that curbside bin, where is it really going to go? Well, if you have a good, clean stream and you're recycling right, you can rest assured that things are going to get recycled. Our paper and cardboard typically goes to mills in Neenah or Wisconsin Rapids. Our plastics are going to Lower Michigan, especially those number 1s, number 2s, and the high density polyethylene, typically a number 1, are also going to Lower Michigan. Now, these are bottles. These are plastic bottles and containers. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Aluminum is going to Kentucky. Our steel stays here in Wisconsin. Typically, it's to eastern Wisconsin, and our glass is used beneficially locally. So, what I like to say about what we can put in that curbside is please just keep it simple. There's a lot of things that are recyclable, but they are not to be put in the curbside bin. The curbside bin is for items that can be easily separated using the machinery, the automated system that we have at the material recovery system. When we start putting in really bulky or really different type of plastics or metals that are going to be a problem at the machinery, they won't get separated. The machines like to see the things they were designed for. At the Material Recovery Center, there's 4 basic commodities that are accepted to help reassure those items that have the strongest market in Wisconsin. Those are paper, cardboard, mixed papers, our cardboard boxes. All of those can be put into your curbside recycling. I like to keep them in a paper bag itself. And just to contain the paper a little bit, it doesn't need to do that. You can actually put it in loose as well. Metals are really just your metal cans, your tin cans and your aluminum cans are what you should be putting in for metals. Larger items of metal, hangers, cords that have metal in them, they should not be put in your curbside bin. So you need to just kind of keep your regular highest commodities that we have for circular markets in Wisconsin in your curbside. So glass bottles and glass jars. We're not talking about windows. We're not talking about put glass items like Pyrex glasses in there, not those tempered glasses like that. Just your typical glass and jars that you have commonly coming through the household. It doesn't matter on the color of those glass materials, any of the glass will be accepted. And then finally, plastic. The good idea to think about when you're thinking about plastics is it's the bottles and the containers. So bottles that have like a neck on them or a container like a cottage cheese, those can all be recycled in your curbside bin. They'll get sorted out very well. It's when we're putting in plastic bags or plastic, big bulky plastics, those are not supposed to be put in the curbside bin. But you see the title of this slide is KISS. And that represents keep it simple, silly. I like to say silly. The real phrase is keep it simple, stupid, but we're not going to say stupid here. We're going to say keep it simple, silly at the curbside. So if you apply KISS at the curbside, you know you're recycling right. This is what a typical material recovery center looks like today in this day and age. This is definitely an updated facility. This is the city of Milwaukee and Waukesha County. Started this operation in 2015. It's a very sophisticated facility that we have in Wisconsin, but it's giving you an example of what you can see and how things are separated when it hits the material recovery center. So there's a lot of conveyor belts. So when I talked about not putting those cords or those strings into your curbside, you don't want to put those curbside or those cords in there because look at the conveyor belts. There's a lot of moving parts in a material recovery facility. When you have cords or if you have plastic bags, those are getting wrapped around the machinery. They have to shut the whole operation down because of these materials, and it's very inefficient. We're asking customers, please Do not put bags or anything that's a long string, hangers that's going to get caught in machinery. They use blowers and air jets to separate materials into the right stream for recycling. There's a lot of screens. We use magnets for those metals, the steel versus aluminum. You can separate through different magnets. There's now optical sorters that are being used in more sophisticated material recovery facilities. And now we're even getting into the robotics, real innovation in the industry of recycling. Not all facilities, in fact, most facilities don't have robots yet, but there's a lot of innovation and technology going into that. And at every material recovery facility, there are people helping on the line for that quality control, that sorting out some of the materials at every facility. So that's why you can't put everything into that curbside bin, because now you see how it's sorted. So there's a lot of things that can be recycled, but not curbside. So you've probably heard that people have said, but batteries are recyclable. Yes, but not the curbside bin. So please take those to a special drop-off. Same with your plastic bags. Take them to the drop-off. Here at the material at the Marathon County Solid Waste Department, this is a list of all of the items that we accept right at the department for recycling. We take batteries, concrete, and electronics, light bulbs, plastic bags, propane tanks, scrap metal, shingles, tires, used oil, and vinyl siding. Not necessarily food scraps yet. We're working on that, but we're really encouraging people to do composting at their residential home for keeping the food scraps out. But keep an eye on that. We're working on some opportunities for some drop-off locations. They're just not developed yet. Right now, we really promote a lot of the food scraps. Same thing with plastic bags. We don't necessarily need you to drop them off here at the Marathon County Solid Waste. Actually, take those to the special drop-off locations at your grocery stores. That's where those items should go. Okay. Our website also has a really nice listing where you click on the image of what to do with, and it will tell you how to dispose of it properly or recycle it. And that website is right there at marathoncountysolidwaste.org. So really good website that helps you with the tools. Two emerging contaminants that I really want to talk about that are really causing problems right now are batteries. Batteries are getting into our recycling stream or into our garbage cans, and they're causing fires. And this is mostly rechargeable batteries is what we're talking about. Definitely for those lithium ion batteries or those rechargeable batteries, those do not go in your curbside and they do not go in your trash can. They need to be taken to a place for recycling. You can bring them to Marathon County Solid Waste for a fee, or you can also drop them off to a few select locations throughout Marathon County. Those are listed on our website. The other emerging contaminant that we're finding is things like this labeling system you're seeing more frequently on cans. And cans are either wrapping their aluminum in a sticker, a plastic sticker, or a plastic wrap. At the Material Recovery Center, the machinery is not reading this as metal anymore, or it's getting misread and mishandled at the Material Recovery Center. And so they're not getting into the appropriate streams. Become a label peeler, cut those labels off if they're wraps, or peel those labels off if they're stickers, and then you can ensure the recyclability of that aluminum can. That just helps you be a better recycler if you can take that extra step to ensure that metal is more pure when it comes through. We don't ever want to forget about the reuse market. You can help promote more efficiency in our community by shopping at Goodwill, shopping at the Habitat store, or dropping materials off to instill that items that are still have ability to be reused do get an opportunity for reuse if possible. So reuse whenever you can. So as I wrap up here, I want to leave you with 5 things that you can do. Really rethink your needs before we buy things. Think about, do I really truly need this? Can I buy it in a bulk or larger items instead of single use? Rethink how you need your items and products. And then reuse and donate when possible. As you can see from this waste management hierarchy, this was put out from the Environmental Protection Agency many, many years ago for helping us rethink our waste. And I think not only from a management side, but we can also apply these in our everyday life. So you see that source reduction and reuse as our top line. We should all be applying that into our lives. Rethink your needs, reuse and donate when possible. The other thing we want to look at is eating our food or composting what we don't use. A lot of what we have going into the trash bin at home is sometimes 25 to 40% of our waste is actually food that could easily be diverted into a compost system. So if you're not already composting, or if you want questions on how to get started, we have a lot of resources on our website, tutorials, webinars, and just information sheets of how to compost right. Definitely you're here today, so I know that you're learning how to recycle right, and we thank you for that, because recycling and composting is that next tier after source reduction and reuse of things you can do. And then lastly, just being responsible and respectful consumers, really thinking about what you can do. And then lastly, at those waste management hierarchies, you can see how it gets to the management level. Then those items can go into a stream where they're properly disposed of if items are indeed at the end of its life. How does it safely get into the waste stream so we can protect the humans' health and the environment from any harm? So we want to make sure we're landfilling those properly. I'm going to leave you with a few additional resources to go into. Definitely follow the Central Wisconsin Recycling Collective at Facebook, Instagram, or you can go to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for those video tips. So 47 video tips already out there, and we'll be adding more as we go. Our Marathon County Solid Waste website is at marathoncountysolidwaste.org. Excellent website to help direct you of how to dispose of different items properly or recycle them. Recyclingconnections.org is a partner, and they have a wonderful website with lots of education and outreach information to also help you in your recycling efforts. And then the Portage County Material Recovery Facility is our other partner in this, and they are where our materials go for sorting. So thank you very much, and happy recycling.